Today's guest is the inspiring Alieke van Esterik, a transformational coach, stress invention expert, and visionary guide for high-achieving women in life transitions. From running a boutique hotel in the Caribbean to 13 years in Dubai, and now flourishing in Sotogrande, Alieke shares her story of purpose, motherhood, and reigniting the inner fire. We explore her powerful journey, the foundations of her 22-year marriage, and how she's guiding women to reconnect with themselves and live with clarity, confidence, and purpose.
I had a great life. Friends, the Madrid, the town, the girls, they were doing great. But I was like, okay, if we're going to stay here for another 6 years to finish high school, what am I going to do? That was my question.
You were kind of working in the hospitality, in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And then you went on to work in the spiritual world in a way. So what happened? How did you make that shift and why?
If you are in a burnout, you can talk a lot, but you are not in a good state of mind because your brain is working differently.
What is the aura reading? Hello everyone, how are you today? Today is the official Dia de Andalucía, which is like celebrating Spanish culture and this amazing place where we live. And today I have Alieke here as a guest, and I'm so happy to sit down with you because I haven't seen you for a while.
True.
So, and I don't really know your story and your background and all the things you traveled and where you work. So, and your profession is so interesting. So if you could just like introduce yourself and just like what should people know about you and your background and also what you do now?
Yeah, I'm Alieke and I come from the Netherlands. I'm married with Sebastian for, in April, 22 years.
Wow.
I have 2 girls, daughters. Claire, she is 19 years, and there's Zoe, she's 16 years. And at the time I met Sebastian was in Amsterdam. We started both working. I was working in the hotel industry. And we had, I don't know, it was just a feeling, a craving that we wanted to do something else, something different. We went abroad. We started in the Caribbean.
That's such a huge change from Amsterdam to Caribbean.
I was running a small hotel there. And because my background is hospitality industry. And Sebastian came and we just did it. It was on a small island. But after a year, within a year, we were like, nah, this is
too much.
This is not going to work for us, not the idea we had. And then a friend I was in contact with, she said, come to Dubai. It's booming there. If you go back to the Netherlands now, you start again with your house and with job. So just come to Dubai and we'll find a job. You will find a job.
So what year was that? Or how long ago was it?
That was in 2004.
Okay, so.
Yeah. 2003 we got married as a kind of a surprise. It was at the same time for our farewell party. And then 2004 we arrived in Dubai. And yes, we stayed there for 13 years in the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did your friends and family think? That you're a little bit crazy? Going to Caribbean, then Dubai? Like, I mean, now kind of Dubai is normal and more people are going. But 20 years ago, what was the reaction?
They maybe did not expect it from us because we were both like Sebastian is in finance. He was at Art and Anderson at that time. I was working in the hotel industry. And they were like, but why? But it was not really a why. It was just like, we want to explore new things, other things. And we didn't want to go back to the Netherlands at that time. So we really wanted to give it a chance. And Sebastian found a job within 4 months in Dubai. And I found one half a year later. So we could settle there because you need your visa to rent a house and to start everything up. Yeah, and then the girls were there.
And how was the experience living in Dubai? Now you can compare to Netherlands, Caribbean even, Dubai, and then now here. How would you compare all of those experiences?
Dubai, I really liked it. Also a special place because we started a family there. But we met a lot of people with the young kids. And
so it was very family friendly.
Yeah. And beach life. I mean, come on, you can be outside every day of the year. And you have, okay, I will be very honest, you have the help as well. We had a nanny. We had 2 nannies, beautiful girls. And they stayed with us, one for 7 years, the other one for another 7 years.
Because it's affordable, or
yeah, it's affordable. It's a way of living there, and
it's normal.
It's normal. So they are there. They stay in your house. They take care of your kids. We could go out. So it was not this big change. While you had your kids, you could still also go out, and there was not always like, oh, there's no babysitter, or do I want? There was somebody, part of our family, helping you there every day.
Yeah, because I do miss my family being abroad, and you would have probably, obviously you miss your family, but at least you got the help that usually, and the support that family would give you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's true. And that gave us also a lot of, freedom, and also the opportunity to continue work for me. So it was a great time in Dubai. But at one point, but there was also a change in a job from Sebastian, that we decided, okay, it's enough now. We've seen a lot of people going, you know,
but why?
You're there a long time.
Why do you think people like come and go in Dubai so much?
Because there's also a lot of international companies sending you out there, like an expat, you know, for Shell or for Philips, like the Dutch ones. But the international companies, they say, okay, 4 years in Dubai, then you need to go 4 years to Bangkok or to Kuala Lumpur. And then you have to pick up your family and move. And for us, it was a free choice. There was no boss telling us, you have to move now. That was our own choice. So, but then at that time we said, okay, this is it. Yeah. We also want to explore something new now.
So you were like explorers. But what kind of jobs did you do in Dubai?
I started off with Rituals. Do you know that? The home brand?
Yeah,
with,
I love it. Who doesn't know Rituals? I mean,
Yeah.
there's probably a Rituals candle. I think in the bathroom, there's a Rituals soap. Like,
but at that time I started in 2004. It was not that well known yet. But they had shops around in the Middle East. And I had a connection, someone in the Netherlands on the head office. And we started talking, because I was looking for a job as well. And he said, why not be a project manager for us? But in the end, that didn't work out, because their local partner was a company in Bahrain. So in the end, I went for a job there, and I worked for them as a brand manager.
And did you enjoy it?
Yeah, that was very interesting, because there were shops in Saudi, but at the time I couldn't go there, because you need to travel always with a man and you need to have a visa. But I could go to Kuwait. So I went to Kuwait and to Bahrain. So you got to know a little bit more of the region.
Well, you wanted to explore, then you could explore even more.
Yeah.
But what would you say it's like the biggest downside or the negatives of living in, let's say, Dubai or that side of the world?
Well, that's a good question. But I think in the end, what you just mentioned already, it's about not having your family so close by.
It's a bit far.
It's a bit far. The summers are really not nice to be there. So we were moving out in the summer, especially when the kids were smaller. So you have to kind of, arrange that. And some people really went for 2 months, you know, like July, August, they were just not there. But then you also didn't know what you were doing in July and August. So you come back in September all with your stories from, wherever you went. But no, for me in the end, it was just getting too much of city life, too much driving around with the girls. And with teenagers, for me, it was a different stage. For them to grow up and be free, to be able to go around a city or a place you live, because it's only Dubai. You know, when you live in Spain and you are in Madrid, you can take a train, come to Malaga. But Dubai is Dubai.
I mean, now you have Abu Dhabi. And then like more things developing there. But I get what you mean. So then, where did the idea of Spain come in?
My husband, he quit his job. He wanted to start, on his own with a partner. And that took like a year and a half. But then he found a partner, and they set up a company, and he still has the company. that company is in Puerto Rico, by the way. But that was like, okay, we can either live in Madrid or we go to Frankfurt, because there are direct flights from both of these cities to San Juan. And then we said, okay, we're going to go to Madrid, because Frankfurt was not really appealing to me, to us. And we wanted to learn Spanish because we didn't know how it would map out with his company, just in case we had to move there. Puerto Rico, Miami, it's, well,
all
it's
Hispanic.
But a lot of Hispanic, So that's why it was Madrid.
And then you spent some time in Madrid.
Yeah.
And you ended up coming here on the coast, and now you live in Sotogrande, which, to anyone who doesn't know, it's like 40-minute drive towards the Atlantic.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful place. I love Sotogrande, but it must be so different also to live there all year round. So
true.
So how is it? And how was the life in Madrid, if you want to share that?
I really liked the life in Madrid. We were a little bit outside the city center, but we had a nice couple of friends there. And the first weekend, I remember, we were there, and a friend of mine told me, come, we're going to play paddle. And I was like, I never played that, but I played tennis. And really from that moment on, we had paddle Fridays. Every Friday, casi every Friday. We were playing paddle with friends, with like 4 couples. Kids were there playing around. And then we went back to one of each other's houses and had dinner. So it was like a thing, but a really great thing.
Yeah.
And to explore Spain. And I must really say I felt home there. And I just love Spain as a country. It has so much to offer, and it's so beautiful. You can find everything in Spain.
I totally agree. Yeah, Spain is incredible.
So I really loved it. And I remember when we moved back from Madrid to the Netherlands, I thought, okay, the girls were at the age to do the secondary time there or somewhere else. But I just knew from a lot of, other mothers telling me their experience, like, you should not move too much with teenagers, because it's already like a challenging time for them. They're discovering themselves, friends, and changes in the body for the girls, but also for the guys, like, a little discovering themselves. And if you're going to make more chaos in their life by moving them around, it's not always at the best. So Zoe, the youngest, was going into the secondary school, and Claire was already there. But I also wanted to work. That was my thing in Madrid. I had a great life, friends, the town, the girls, they were doing great. But I was like, okay, if we're going to stay here for another 6 years to finish high school, what am I going to do? That was my question. And then I thought, okay, maybe I'm going to find that in the Netherlands. So I moved the family back. And also telling the girls, like, my husband is Dutch, you're both Dutch. Maybe you find a little bit going back to your roots. Well, they're not their roots because they were not born there even. But to give them a Dutch also way of living, to feel that and to experience that themselves. And in the Netherlands, when you are a teenager, you go on your bike, you go to school, you're free.
It's beautiful also.
Yeah.
And how do they, how do you think your kids identify themselves at? Like if someone asks, what's your nationality, or what nationality do you think they identify as? I mean, because you're born in Dubai, but actually Dutch background, then living in Spain many, many years. So they must, in a way, not feel confused, but you're a little bit torn between all these cultures and background. Yeah. How do they feel?
Well, I never ask them that question. Sometimes I do, language-wise, like, what do you dream,
Yeah.
Do you dream like in
English
Dutch or in English? But now I think the main language is, it's English. We speak Dutch at home. But yeah, they are Dutch.
So
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't feel, but okay, what is it typically feeling Dutch? They're Dutch. Yeah.
And you, how do you feel? Like, I mean, you don't have to feel a certain nationality, but But I always ask this question because we are, especially in Marbella, there's so many different backgrounds, and you travel a lot, and just like what would you say, like, with culture, like, suits you the most, let's say?
Well, the Spanish culture, I like the way they have their family ties. I really can appreciate that. I like the way we can live outside most of the time. Yeah. And to really enjoy life.
Yeah.
Their lifestyle could be so nice and
Yeah.
simple. I swim a lot in the sea, and we have next to Sotogrande, there's Torre. There's this bay, and every Saturday morning we swim there with a group of people, and during the week I sometimes go as well. And there's this little coffee shop, but it's the Centro de Mayores. So it's like, I don't know, funded by the Ayuntamiento, whatever. But there is Rafa with his wife, his son, and they run this coffee place, and we have a coffee there with our pan tostada, y de tomate. And that's just this week, when was it? When it was a beautiful day, Tuesday, I guess. I was there with my husband, 11 o'clock in the morning. We have a swim, we go there, you have a coffee, you sit outside.
Yeah, 20 degrees.
That's it. You don't need anything else.
No, but it's, learning and knowing how to appreciate it and being present, and this is so much that now we're going into your work probably with this, but I do feel like Spanish have this great ability to enjoy life, like the Italians, they just enjoy life. Of course they drink a little bit, maybe too much alcohol sometimes, and wine, but they also know how to just enjoy wine, food, company, talking, this socializing. It's beautiful.
That's exactly that. I love it, the way they live their life, and they're more, maybe it's more easier weather-wise. You cannot always everything pin down to the weather, but it
does help.
It does help a great deal, and especially the sun. Yeah.
But they're just like so open and friendly, and I love the people here. Even when I'm with my kids, the other day I was in a cafe, buying for a coffee, and then the lady says, "Toma, guapa," and then my daughter said, "She told you you're guapa." I'm like, yes, but it's kind of, she did, and I said, yeah, it's so sweet. I say thank you, but it's also like they say that to everyone because they're just so kind, and like it's like the way they say almost te quiero to everyone. It's like they're very. It's lovely. I love the people here,
and I like the Spanish hug. It's just like the abrazo. We are not used to that.
That breaks the ice also. That helps to be more connected, more open. Whereas, like. Okay, then we're keeping our space. Okay, don't come into my space.
I really like that.
Yeah, me too. I love living here, and especially when you leave and come back, and you're like, it's great here. I love my country too. I never want to say bad things about my country. I love it, especially in the summer. Like you said, July, August, you escape from Dubai. I try to escape from Marbella because for me, this is hot.
Yeah.
But when I went to Abu Dhabi last summer, I realized, okay, now I know why they're coming here in the summer. It's not that bad. But for me, it's very hot in the summer here. So I love going to Estonia, and enjoying the summer there is just wow. And my kids are saying, why don't we live in Estonia? I said, I'll take you sometimes in the winter, because they don't really know. They just know the best part of, the year. But you don't know. You cannot play in the garden like you are. You cannot swim, you can't do all these things that we can do here. We're very blessed to live here.
Yeah. How long you've been here?
I've been here now 14 years.
Yeah.
So it goes quickly. And you?
Well, 3 years Madrid and 3 years now in Sotogrande. So,
it's going to go quickly.
It's
like first years you're counting, and then you lose the track of time.
True.
So then you were kind of working in the hospitality, in the corporate world.
Yeah.
And then you went on to work in the spiritual world in a way. So what happened? How did you make that shift, and why?
Yeah, that really happened in Madrid. I just talked about it a bit. There was the time I really felt like, okay, I want to work, but what is it what I want to do? And I didn't want to go back into the hospitality industry, but I also didn't have a clue what. And I remember we had a get-together in the Netherlands. It was summer, and we stayed with a friend, and she went into the spiritual world, and she started off with Reiki. And so we were just, having breakfast, having a coffee, and like, what is it, what you want to do, and how are things? And I was like, yeah, Madrid is really nice, but I'm missing work. And she went on her phone, astrology, and she just downloaded my chart. She said, when were you born, and you're this, and oh, yeah, but that's, yeah, of course, yeah, you're going to work. I was like, okay. And I also understand, like, yeah, you're not going to have the job for me. But a week later, I sent her a message, and I was like, okay, but can you just give me a little hint or a little direction? And she said, don't you think you're really high sensitive? I never realized that. She said, why not Reiki, or there's a course? And there was a course, so I rebooked my ticket. The family went back to Spain. I stayed in the Netherlands. And my first thing to prepare for that course, I needed to do an aura reading, or I did one. And that's the start.
What is the aura reading?
I was there with this woman, and you don't know her, of course, so she knows that you come there to prepare for the course, the day, and you're just going to sit, and you close your eyes, and she's going to tune into you, and you can have the audio ready, you can record it, and she starts talking, and she just gives you insights on your life, where you're at now, what's happening. Yeah, and during that hour, you hear a lot, but even later on, it's better to listen to it again. But she really gives you insights in your own life. Maybe you do not realize you have it, or where to go, and she also gives you some facts, like, this is what's happening right now.
Like kind of like psychic in a way, like if it but how do you think it happens, or how do you think it's just like tuning into the energy and reading the energy? Yeah.
And everybody
has these abilities.
But we've never been taught or shown, but we can. And if you know the technique, the thing about this, but it's the same if you want to learn how to play the piano, you need to practice. And this also, you need to practice. So if you tune in, you can start with an animal, you can start with the plant over there, just focus on it, tune into it, don't expect anything, but at a certain moment of time, you will see the aura field of these flowers or the plant. Maybe you see it in colors, or maybe you see like an energy field around it.
I have not tried that. We have to try.
Even with if you have a dog or a cat and it's sleeping, just tune in into your, pet.
So what happened after that reading? You went on to doing the course of Reiki? Yeah. And how did you feel? Did you feel like it's your calling, or did you feel like it's a bit strange because it was so far from the life and the experiences and everything? And what did your husband think? Was he thinking like, oh, you're going a bit crazy? What? Or I mean, because a lot of people have that prejudgment about things that they don't know about.
True. That's actually very funny that you say that, because one of the things came across while I was doing that workshop. I was like, but maybe I'm going to change, and then one day I wake up and I don't know who I am, and I look at the person next to me and who is that? But so far it never happened, not for that reason. No, it goes like you're growing into it. It's it's a little bit from one day to the other, but to work in it and to find your way in it, what I want to do, you grow into that. But after my first Reiki initiation, you need to practice. So I practiced on a friend, I practiced on my mom, and she was there on bed, and she was like, oh, but Alieke, I really feel everything. I feel really like in my knee, and and then you are like kind of motivated more, even like, it's working.
You see the results. But what is Reiki if someone doesn't know? How would you
Reiki is working with the energy, like your life energy, and it's basically through, my hands, but I am kind of tuning in also into the universal energy, the bigger energy around us. And then through me, I will give that to you, the person who I'm treating. And it could be something really like, okay, I have an injury. Somebody came once to me with Achilles injury. So you focus on there. It could be for general relaxation, to really be able to relax and to let go. So you have a kind of standard procedure where to put your hands, but you really feel that, and that is something you can create yourself as well. I mean, if you rub your hands, you feel it warm, but if you then say, okay, but my left knee is not feeling nice, or I feel something on my knee, just focus on your knee, breathe into your knee, and only already by focusing on your knee and telling yourself, okay, I put now all my healing energy into my knee, something could happen and you could feel something. Because we all have that energy, the self-healing power within us. But we do not always know how to use it.
Yeah. And so then what happened next? Where did you move on from Reiki? Because what you do now is you're also like a life coach and like helping women with different issues in their life. So tell me, what exactly do you do now, and how did you end up doing it, and what other courses or what did you learn?
Yeah, so from Reiki, I went on to Qigong. I am a Qigong practitioner, because the friend who introduced me to Reiki, she was also doing Qigong. And there I could really feel for myself that it was working. When you practice that and you go into that energy of Qigong and the breathing and the exercises you do. So that I did for 2 years in the Netherlands. And I found a course in the Netherlands. It's Happy Brain Clinics, it's called. And the way they started that program is a 60-day program for people in a burnout. Their vision is, it's like, we can talk a lot about things, but actually you should do things to make a change. Because if you are in a burnout, you can talk a lot, but you are not in a good state of mind because your brain is working differently. So talking is not really the tool there. It will not really help you. So they have 2 main key sessions, and I learned that, and that is working on yourself as a system, because we are our own individual system. That's the way I see it. So when you work on that and you are doing a cleansing in your subconscious mind, then after that we will do a family constellation work. So that is you in a system, but it's your family. And that you will integrate to embody all that, because when you start working inward with energy on your subconscious mind, things are shifting, you are releasing things, emotions will be released. So things are happening in the body. And to embody that all and integrate it, that's where the Qigong comes in.
And what is Qigong? Because I've tried it once with you.
Yeah.
That's how we met. It was a while ago already.
Yeah, I think 2 or nearly 3
years ago.
Yeah.
But what is Qigong? And I had no idea also what Qigong is. At first I was thinking, Gong, must be like Gong meditation, something, because I loved Vinca la Gloria, so I was like, I just trust I'm going to go to this experience. And I had no idea actually what is Qigong. So what is Qigong?
Yeah. Qigong is part of the Chinese medicine, the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. The other parts of the Chinese medicine is the acupuncture, the Trina massage, Qigong, there's the food, the nutrition, and there's the herbal medicine. So these are the 5 pillars of the Chinese medicine. And the way they see, a human body in the Chinese medicine is to work more preventive. And that's what I like about it. So how can we keep ourselves healthy before you become ill? And in the Western world, we go more often to a doctor when we have already something. It's not too late, but you need to work harder to heal it.
Yeah.
In the Chinese practice, you try to stay healthy, but that's all related. Where do you live? What kind of air do you breathe in? What do you eat? What do you drink? What do you do on exercises? And it's also to find what is working for you and what's working for me, because we are all unique. So if you like to run, but I like to swim, then keep on running, and for me, keep on swimming. I will not tell you, no, you need to start swimming because it's so good for you. So it's finding your flow. And Qigong, Qi means energy, life energy, like prana in yoga. And the Gong is the art to work with your energy. So by doing exercises, slow movements, breathing techniques, massage, and meditation, that is what is Qigong. And we work with some acupuncture points, not like when you do acupuncture. And we work with the organs, because the emotions we have, and we go through emotions, and if we do not go through emotions, they will be stuck on your body and they can be stuck on your organs. Let's say like grief and sadness is on your lungs, and anger, frustration will stuck on your liver. And there are ways to clean these organs and to release them from these emotions, from the stuck emotions.
Just with Qigong exercises.
Yeah.
Wow. And have you seen like any amazing these transformations from your clients or people and yourself? Maybe you have some lovely stories you can share.
Yeah, when I, even though I was only like studying the Qigong, we also had to practice in the group, but one exercise, it was just like, you're standing, but it's like a standing meditation, but you go really in the flow of it, and then you really could feel sensations in your body, and you could feel your energy in your body. So for me, it was so such a powerful way to connect again with my body. And we do not always know how we feel, and I can ask you, how do you feel? But then a lot of people say, yeah, I'm fine, but how do you really feel?
Yeah.
And are you really fine? And how do you feel? You know, it's like how you bake a cake, but how do you feel? Do you feel more with your head? Can you feel your heart, or do you pick up the signals from your body? If there is something like, this is a little off balance today, or how do you wake up in the morning? Is that with a lot of energy, like, hey, I'm really looking forward for this day? Or half of the time maybe you're tired because your sleep is not that great. And do you allow yourself to feel that, to realize it? And that's already a big step.
Being aware.
Being aware of it. Because if we pass that, but you go into your daily rhythm, then we lose that opportunity actually.
But I guess we're losing it more and more with this busy, hectic world.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
So what is it that you do now exactly? Like, what is your job entail? Or do you do just various things? Like, do some clients come for you for the Reiki or Qigong? Or how does your coaching and what is your kind of method?
Yeah. I created a method. That's why I also started with a business coach, because I have these different tools. And her thing was like, okay, so my method now is the flourishing method. And these are 3 pillars. It's about the subconscious rewiring. So that's working on you as a person, as a singular system. Then we're going to look at your family system, systemic work. And then all integrating it by Qigong. So you work on the subconscious mind. There you can do a subconscious cleaning. And these are all words like, yeah, but what is it then? Well, it's like a guided visualization, could be 2 hours. There's an intake, I ask you questions, and we're going to work what is all there in your subconscious mind. Because the subconscious mind is very powerful. And we do not always know that or realize that. It's 95% of how we are, how we act, what we do is actually guided and it's through the subconscious mind. And it's not our mind. And so I work one-on-one with persons, like a 3-month coaching program. Or for next week, I'm going to have a new program. I'm launching a new program, Shift. And there we're going to really specifically work on the mind, body, and the energy, but also to find a core belief, a limiting belief, and it could be a pattern in your life which is really in your way to be able to move forward or to have this purpose in your life, or if you are in a transition in your life right now, could be different things, to find a way, okay, how I'm going to step into this new chapter. Yeah.
But do you mainly work with women, right?
Yeah.
And they probably come to you when they're totally burnt out or they're probably stuck in their life, right?
Yeah.
But how do you then, I mean, of course you help them with these tools, but overall, how difficult, or how can women manage better these different, let's say, these identities, whether you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a daughter, you're all these different roles we're playing, and it's quite tricky to manage them. And how have you managed this in your life?
Well, when I came in contact with, well, for me, I called it at that time the other side. For me, there were a lot of aha moments in the study I did, in the new courses I did. I didn't know about the subconscious mind 7 years ago. And when I had my first day of this course with Happy Brain Clinics, I really came home totally overwhelmed and totally like, what is this? So I really had to kind of digest it all, start reading about it, and of course, slowly you grow into it, and I really noticed that it could do a lot for us. And to really, well, for me, the most important thing is to put yourself on number one. So me as Alieke, I'm first, and then I'm a mother, and I'm a partner, and I'm the daughter, and I'm a friend, and I'm the sister. But don't put all the other roles on top of you. No,
that your kids are most important, which usually happens when you have kids. You're like, my kids are my life, which of course they are, but again, then you can lose yourself.
Yeah.
No?
And when we did the move with them, and I knew it was difficult because one girl wanted to stay, the other wanted to move. The next year, the other one wanted to stay, the other one wanted to move. For me, the credo is like, stay close to yourself. If we are happy as parents, you are there for them to create this safe space. Yeah, they also have to find their own journey and their own path. And they are very flexible, but they also have to deal with that if you are moving around as parents, because maybe we were like, Netherlands is not going to work. We're going to go back to Spain. And they were like, what are we going to do again within a year? So, it really causes some stress and friction, and I knew that. And at some point it also was a little, I really felt guilty, like, I'm going to really create chaos here. But for me, the thing was, for us, it's not going to work. And in the end, then it will also not work for them.
Yeah. If you are not happy, how can the kids be happy?
Yeah.
They come home to miserable parents and then it's not going to work.
Yeah, so sometimes you really need to be brave and to stay close to your decision, even though you know it will create some chaos in the loved ones around you. Yeah.
But why do you think so many women are feeling this, like not being enough or trying to be perfect in nowadays society? Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it has to do with a lot of outside triggers. We have a lot. What I've learned, and the key things I'm also sharing with my clients, to really try to, not completely, but yes, for a while, if you really want to make a change and you really want to make a shift, to step out of a lot of, I call it the outside entertainment. And it could be from Netflix, it could be social media, it could be even going to the movies, social events, not everything, watching the news, but
the outer influence.
The outer influences is just triggering us a lot, and we have like 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day. 95% of them are kind of negative or based on what happened yesterday. well, we cannot change anymore what happened yesterday. So then you're going to start creating this circle and the pattern, but that's not always in your best interest. That's not always good. It's not always working. So to kind of tune down all the outside triggers for a while, and to find your balance in that, and to really kind of start over again. Okay, what is it what I like? Where do I want to give my energy to? Because in a subconscious cleaning, if I work on a person one-on-one and start on your system, I'm going to ask you, like, how much energy from you to your mom, to your dad, to your partner, to this. And in the end, guess what? There is no energy left for yourself. So again, you have to put yourself on number one without guilt, because that is the thing where we sometimes struggle with.
Especially as a mom.
It's selfish.
Oh, yeah.
The guilt trip is going to come in.
Yeah.
But
it's very tricky.
It is very tricky, but I feel and I know and I've seen it with clients and with myself. If you work on yourself, you allow yourself to go that way and find your way. I don't say everybody needs to do Qigong. If it's yoga, please do yoga. But allow yourself to go there, to do that, because it has a positive effect on the loved ones around you.
Yeah.
If I see now the relationship I have with my 2 daughters, wow.
How has that changed? And what did they think of your new career?
Totally different, both, but in the end, they're both connected. And yes, they do ask me once in a while, oh, Mom, I have my test week this week. You want to give me a little Reiki when I'm there? Because you can do it also on distance. Yeah, I do Reiki with them. Yeah, and they love it.
And what did their friends think about it? They don't think it's weird? I think nowadays it's becoming so much more normal to be more mindful, more spiritual. Maybe 20 years ago, 10 years ago was still a bit, you're a bit crazy. But I think here it's becoming very normal. Even it's not even, it's normal that you meditate. It's even not normal if you don't meditate.
Yeah,
like I think
true.
It's becoming, it's trendy, which is great because then
it's opening doors.
Yeah. So.
But that was my first struggle as well. I was like, I'm going to lose everyone, all my friends. Or people think like, what are you on? From a director of marketing in a hotel, and you're going to go into this. But
some aura, no?
But what I've also learned is that, and I think that is one of my teachings, or what I would want to show and share, that it can be so good together. The duality, we need to be able to face duality in life and everything. There's the dark and there's the light, and there's the yin and the yang, and the men and the women. But there's also, look at us where we sit now in this beautiful place in Marbella, and a lot of people will think about something about Marbella, but we talk about really good things. And I don't need to be sitting on my mountain all day to only practice this. No, I can practice it here.
Yeah, it's like, let's say, luxurious spirituality in a way.
Yes.
But it's funny, I was talking about it with Mona, one of my guests. I don't know if you listened to that podcast, but she's doing beautiful events. Her company is called Sunray. And she's also trying to fit these 2 worlds into one. The same like this misconception about yoga having to be barefoot in India in the most poorest village, and wear no makeup. Why can I not wear makeup and my nice outfit and still meditate on my beautiful sofa? Why is that wrong? But somehow I guess the media, or we've been like made to think that somehow these 2 don't go together. And I think it's very nice that more and more women, and like you and Mona, they're trying to kind of normalize it, and also that way you are bringing the spirituality world to these women and these people who would have thought that it's maybe too extreme to them. But if you introduce it in such different way, it becomes more, let's say, approachable and more.
It's easy. Friend of mine, I'm really a big fan of acupuncture. Again, that's like preventive. So for beginning of this year now, every week I do a session of acupuncture. But just to keep things going and flowing and stay healthy. When I was in Madrid, a friend of mine she used to live in Berlin, but there she would go into a hospital and treated people with acupuncture while they were there and having their other treatment. And that is what I mean, it's beautiful to have that together. In Spain, for now, it's not possible. She was not even allowed to work as an acupuncturist because she had to you need to have the medical paper, like you're a doctor, let's say. And that is, but I feel it's more and more coming, definitely.
Yeah. And I don't know if surely do you practice homeopathy? Or are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
Because I'm really a fan of homeopathy, and my pediatrician is like a doctor with medical papers, but he's a homeopath, like first and foremost. So always go with homeopathy first. If that fails, fine, there is some other things that we can use. But homeopathy is, let's say, cured everything with my kids, and I even go to him as well. So it's not really medicine, it's just kind of telling your body what part to focus on so that body can heal itself. And maybe it sounds woo-woo to some people, but once you try and you see how it works, it's just it's incredible. And I'm such a firm believer of it because I've seen it and I see how it works and I see how it's helped me and my kids, and I've recommended to more and more friends, and it's just, I would love it to be more mainstream, but of course the media, and they're not really promoting things like that.
Thing. It's about acupuncture as well. I discovered that when I was in Dubai, even with the girls, I went to acupuncture, but they have these little points in their ears. They will not have the needles. So no, I was not putting needles in my children. But now they have. They do. And I did a course with essential oils. I also love the essential oils. Yeah.
And what kind of change do you feel after acupuncture? Do you feel like energy flowing better, or what?
Well, it brings you in a really, for me, a deep state of relaxation. Most of the time I fall asleep. Well, if you fall asleep, you're totally relaxed. Your mind is not telling you all the things you should not do or you should do. So then it can really work. So that's first thing. And then it will, because acupuncturist will tell you about your flow. They will feel on your pulse or look at your tongue. And they say, the organs, yes, it's working. Or maybe you need to have more focus on the kidney. So she will put the needles where your meridian is, where the kidney is. Yeah. So I feel better balanced, and I really can keep my energy. It's the same with Qigong and acupuncture. You manage your own Qi, your energy, which is, for me, the number one important thing. And if you know how to create it and to manage it, you can also have a better knowledge and feeling, okay, what can I do with it? And when do you need it? And when can you let go? Yeah.
But how can a person realize that he or she is disconnected? Is there some kind of also physical symptoms, or when maybe someone is watching and thinking, I'm not sure, I think I'm connected, I'm not sure, am I disconnected? How would you know?
Well, I think it could be on different levels. Could be physically. It could be emotionally. If you're super tense all the time, or super only this has to happen, and you are off balance. Well, then you're not in balance. So there's a disconnection. Basically, if you go into the Chinese medicine, if there is a tension or you have a pain somewhere in your body,
it's telling you something.
It's already disconnected. Well, that part, there is already a message for you. Yeah. There was once a guy, I was listening to his podcast all about Qigong, and he said if you're totally in balance, and yes, I think it's a challenge to do that in the world we live in right now, with all the food and everything what's there. He said there are no allergies then. There are no allergies. And I was like, whoa, that's something to put out there. Because we are having more and more, intolerances, allergies. But I think that's because of the food and the quality of the food.
So you're very conscious of what you eat and very aware.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have my 80-20 rule. Yes, I'm very conscious, but if I really feel I would like to have this, I don't know, whatever, cake or a nice...
I was going to say, what's your naughty thing?
Yeah.
Wine.
Wine.
Alcohol.
But I'm totally down on it, but I don't say no. If I have, especially the Spanish are good at it, this beautiful Spanish lunch, oh yeah, I can enjoy my wine. And that is a thing Joe Dispenza said once, at my table there is no guilt, and I love that. So if you already start with your glass of wine thinking, no, I should not, it's not good, okay, don't do it.
Yeah.
But if you drink it and you really enjoy it with the family, the setting, your friends, it will probably do good for you.
And how do you teach that to your girls? This kind of finding the balance, maybe, you know, as we are young, sometimes we can go overboard with alcohol, and you know, like you have these stages in your life, you know, it's normal. I was also going to parties but how do you teach them, or how do you?
Well, there's not a big teaching in it. I think it's more showing and talking about it.
Because also they haven't seen that side of you when you were young, and maybe we did all these things and we were like, don't do that, but we did it actually, you know?
Well, from Madrid, they do remember the times when we had these pedal Fridays. They were like, oh, you need to do that more often, you know? For them, it was like, oh, we go out and we stayed until 1, 2 a.m. in the morning and there was good food and wine, yes. No, I think I learned that as well in this whole journey, to really let them go, to be able to let them go, to trust them. And yeah, they need to explore everything. They will not hear it from me not to do it, because I don't think that's working. But I must already say they are more conscious about what they eat and how they are in life than I was when I was 18 and 16.
Because they're learning probably from your example. And they're seeing
world,
you.
I think we're living. Yeah. I mean, one thing for me, I said, you can do it whenever you want, but we as a family, we will not go to the fast food one. We will not go to McDonald's. We will not go to this or the KFC. But yes, we did sometimes go, well, they love the Shake Shack. So whenever there is a Shake Shack around, we will do it. And I will enjoy it as well. But it's the 80-20. Yeah.
So you teach them the 80-20 rule. I think it's great. It works actually in every area of your life, this 80-20 rule. And so it's a good rule to follow.
You don't have to go extreme.
Yeah.
There is no need, I feel. No.
But it's just tricky knowing exactly where is 80-20.
Yeah, and sometimes it's 60-40. Well, okay, that's fine. Sometimes you need a little more Netflix than the other day.
Yeah. And what do you think of social media and the screens? And because that's really overwhelming, and it's coming more and more and more. And AI, you know, we're so kind of connected with the world, but then getting a lot of disconnection actually.
Yeah.
And the young ones as well, you know, they're using it in the schools, and, you know, computers and screens are really taking over.
Yeah, that's always an interesting one. And I really had to find my way. And you cannot find one way because it's going so quickly and the whole
and you can't ignore it either. It can't be just like, I can't live without it.
No, then you need to go off grid.
Then
you really need to make a decision. Okay, we're gonna cut loose from everything
and go to Costa Rica.
Or sit really on that mountain. But that's not my intention, because I really feel there is more importance to do it together in the world where we are in right now, and you find your way in it. I also had my social media. I was not really on social media, but the way to connect and the way to find people is also a beautiful way to find people. And there's beautiful stories being shared. But it's about
balance again, I think.
Balance, your own focus, and give yourself a time slot a day. And
put some rules. Boundaries.
The boundaries, it's just very healthy. Okay, in the morning, in the evening, fine. But if it's your work, because people communicating with you, then you need to be on it. But you can also say, do we need to be available 24/7? Not really. No, if you have your rule, okay, on Sunday for me it's not, then it's not. I go sometimes away, or we went to Bali last year on a holiday, and I said for 2 days, my phone is going to be in the safe, and I just don't want to have my phone for 2 days.
And it was fine. So you have no,
loved it.
Yeah. But your kids, do they not sometimes come to the dinner table with the screen, or how do you see the young? Because you have such young kids now. How are they and the friends?
Well,
do they because I see a lot of teenagers let's say hanging out on the sofa, but all of them let's say on their phones. You're not hanging out. You're not doing stuff together.
You're not connecting.
You're connecting with the other things.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, the rule for us at dinner is there's no phones. But if they are together, they hang on the phones because they connect in a different way. I mean, but maybe it's different, of course, because this one is always available. But I do remember the time, even though you saw your friends at school, when I was a little girl, you were still calling each other on the phone, And then sometimes your mom was also but you see each other the whole day. Why do you need to phone her? And I was but you just we have so much to share. So it's not the same, but there is, for them at this point in their life, it's the way to connect. And something beautiful happened as well. A year ago in summer, we were having a dinner in San Pedro. And suddenly, Claire said to me, Aya and Lynn are 500 meters away from us on Snapchat. Good friends from them and the whole family from Dubai. And they were here a month on their holiday. And the next day we saw each other and had lunch together.
Yeah.
And I thought, it can also bring us friends again.
Yeah, that's lovely. But what would you consider success in life? Or do you consider yourself successful? And what do you teach your kids about success?
Yeah, that's it's an easy one to say, but I'm really trying to more live that and feel that myself as well, that success is, what is success? First of all, how do you describe that? What is it for you? But for me is also to start inside. I mean, success is an inner job. It's not ticking the boxes like the house and the car or the whatever, no. It's more about, do you find the fun in life? Do you have a purpose in life? And the purpose in life can be a good friend at this stage of their life. Could be a good mom. And it doesn't need to be everything. So it's really be able to find your thing, your one thing. What is it? And it's a nice adventure, I think, to discover that. But it's also, if you realize that you can work on that and how to work on that, then you will find your purpose, you will find your thing. And then again, having said that, it's not for the rest of your life. Because we go into phases in our life. And we are changing, the world is changing, your role as mother is changing, your body is changing. So don't be too set in but this is for this year, or this is for that. No, really try to find this flow, your flow. Yeah. But success for me is to be connected with yourself, to really be aware and to appreciate the things we have. As human beings, and I will not say everyone, that's not true, but what I hear around me, or when you have talk, we tend to start with the negative things, but this and this and this. And I was let's flip it. Let's start the day by appreciating what you have. And then I think you are really going to be successful.
Yeah, it's all about the mindset and training your mind.
Yeah.
But how would you, let's say, I can't say teach or give some advice to someone who is quite negative, or like you said, our thoughts tend to be a bit more negative.
Yeah.
So we really have to train our brains. Like Joe Dispenza talks about it a lot. I love him too. I love his work.
Yeah.
But for some people, I can see it. I'm very optimistic, and I think it's part of my character. But also, I do consciously try to think of the silver lining, finding the good things, and it becomes like a little habit that I do it automatically. But how do you help someone who is really, really stuck in the negative loop, let's say, and they're just like, just some people are like that, no?
Yeah.
How would you help them, or what kind of tips would you give these people?
Well, the one thing we really start with, if people like in that state of mind, to really switch off from the news, because that's a mind thing, and to make them experience that you can work on the mind. You can rewire your brain. And we don't have to go also in theory, but it's rather to experience them, to have them experience like, okay, so I can shift my negative, I'm not worthy, I'm not successful. I always, first have to make everybody around me happy before I can be happy. To really change that into a positive one. And yes, doing the work, the exercises with the positive affirmations. It is helping, but again, it's the hours you have to, hours you have to put into it.
Yeah, and the little habit, like you have to make it, I think, a habit, that.
But it's like the same habit as knowing how to bike, how to brush your teeth, but if you want to do something with a habit, you need the 3 months, or some say 30 days, the other 3 months. My Qigong teaches that 10,000 hours, whatever it is. One is learning quicker than the other. But you have to give yourself the allowance to do it. Because a lot of things are stuck because we do not allow ourselves to go for something, to discover something new. Because there's the buts. Yeah, but no, I need to wait till the kids are out of the house before I can start working again. Well, is that really true? Or what is it what you're actually saying? Yeah, dig a little deeper.
Yeah, procrastination surely is a huge thing. Yeah. And that's like one of Mel Robbins' thing, like the 3, 2, 1, just get on with it. Even I feel like sometimes I have, let's say, a list of things to do, and I'm like, and this one thing that I really don't want to do, but I have to, I'm just like, oh. But then like, no, just get it on with it. Get it done, and then it's done. So otherwise it's just, you're procrastinating, and it just makes things worse and worse and worse. Just get on with it. 3, 2, 1, boom, out. And like snoozing with the alarm, no? 5 more minutes, 5 minutes. What does that give you? It's not going to help your morning, is it? Just get up, let's get going.
Yeah. In the time, the snooze, you can do like a short positive thing.
Yeah, think of what you're grateful for this morning. Talking about also relationships, and you said you've been married 22 years now?
Yeah, in April.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
I mean, but they're saying like all these podcasts also that I've listened to, they say people always ask, how long have you been married? Wow, what an achievement. Of course it is an achievement, but they're also saying, how are you happy in your marriage? Like that is actually like the question you need to be asking. Like, and also, tell us maybe a few, let's say, secrets that have helped you keep the marriage so long. Of course it's an achievement, but if people are not really happy in their marriage, it's really not an achievement, because you're holding on to something that is not working. So and surely you see that with your clients as well. Because now the divorce rates, I just saw a statistic that in 2020 85 of the marriages in Spain from 100 have ended in divorce, and this is crazy.
It is.
So in a way, I think also marriage is something that should be for life, and of course it's great to have the option to divorce, but I do think it's become like so easy. It's almost like swiping left, next marriage. Well, that's not really the idea of marriage. Then don't get married and just choose another partner. That's fine. But I think people are kind of losing the meaning of marriage, no? Like, what do you think?
Well, for me, it is, it starts with giving each other the space. And a very important one for me is that I do not have the illusion I can change a person. So I'm not trying to change my husband. It's more about me dealing with maybe some things you don't like about him. You know, like, okay, not in a bad way. It should not go extreme, of course not. But it's not about, if I would go away with my friends for a weekend, and I will have fun. I will go to Barcelona on a city trip. And they were younger. I mean, that happened. Then don't worry or don't tell him what to do the whole weekend because they should go this and this and that or that time in bed. No, maybe they have with the dad the really best weekend of their life because they were only eating the pizza and they went to bed crazy late. Well, you should allow that. Don't try to control it.
Freedom.
Because he is doing it his way and you're doing it your way, and maybe you're the control freak and he's just like, no man, they are happy and they're happy with the pizza, so why should I make the broccoli for them today? Okay, maybe not for weeks and weeks, but we're talking about the weekend. So that's just a small example, but for me it's being there for each other, being each other's coach and mentor, because there was a time in Dubai, my husband just decided, okay, I really want to start for myself, but he was looking and he was exploring. That time I said, okay, I'm going to do a job again. I'm going to go back into work in a job. So I'm out of the house, you can do your thing. And when I went on this new path, he is supporting and respecting me all the way. And he is not completely into it, but he did a family constellation work last year. He did, because he knows and he sees what it does to me, but also to the children in the family. And he had a talk with the eldest daughter, and she asked him, and he did it, but for himself. So he is supporting me all the way. He never said no to, well, anything I did so far. And I did a lot of sessions and therapies. Also, I'm very curious. I want to learn and explore. But yeah, there are some, well, good fun stuff, I think, in it.
Yeah, I guess supporting each other through both of your journeys is very important because you are changing. You're not the same person as you were. You know, he married someone else and now you're another Alieke, and the same probably with him. But what advice would you give to couples who are going through a hard time? I see it a lot. I'm at this age, I'm nearly 40, and there's a lot of divorce at that time. And, you know, I see some couples kind of making it, some are not. And how do you even know, like, if you should be with that person, like really give it a try? Or sometimes you're just like, I mean, of course, listen to your intuition, but sometimes it's really hard. You're like, you're not sure, should I? Or if you're not really happy, maybe I shouldn't. But sometimes when you get over the rough patch, then you realize, well, thank God we made it through the rough times, because it's not always going to be sunny and rainbows. No. Today is raining. You know? You have to make it past the storm. So how do you know that the storm, like, is going on for too long?
Well, I think some work you can do around that, around relationships, and it's really about, like you said, you're both changing, so and you do not know which direction the one is coming. So the talking, the really reflecting on life. I had friends, they did every year like this reflection, and there's a tool for it. I think it was a 360, and you go through the wheel and you put your goals again together, and that's one thing. The other thing is also, if you do not feel anymore at that place or in the relationship, you can also explore that more in a systemic work, in constellation work, like, okay, this is me, but do I have the right position? It's about finding your place. And it's also about the place from your partner. You know, is that still like in balance? And that you can feel, you can find out if that's still a good fit, a good match.
So you can kind of, let's say, fix it also if it's not a good fit, or sometimes it's like it's just not a good fit, and maybe that's it.
It could be the conclusion. It's not because you changed maybe too much, or you really have different. And I think that is also the beauty. But I feel, well, you don't have to. But I think if you, at one point of time, you were together and you choose each other. So if you can go back to that time, what was that? And if you can really, maybe you can write it down and you can speak that out loud to each other. So go back into that time. Why did you fall in love? Why did you decide to get married? And whatever the list is with the things, is that still there in your life? What is not there anymore? Maybe something changed, maybe it's gone. But that is the thing. And to dare to work on it. Go into there are beautiful coaches in relation and have at least a chat, have a go. Don't give up on it that easily, I feel.
I think also, I think some people give up super easily without even trying. I think give it a try. But I also heard this lovely concept actually from a guy who's like a matchmaker, and he has this relationship podcast. I forgot his name. Paul something, and he said actually there is no such thing as compatibility. We are compatible with everyone, in a sense that if you want to make it work, you will make it work. That he says that even the arranged marriages actually they work a lot better because you are not just choosing with your heart. Your family gets to choose for you. It's not usually, let's say you meet your boyfriend, you're not going to call your mom, is he okay? No, you make the choice. But if your family and friends could actually choose for you, they would know what would be actually good for you. And you might think like, no, that's not the guy for me. But in the long run, after 10, 20 years, you say, yeah, actually, he was the good guy. Because I maybe would have chosen the bad guy with a motorcycle. You know what I mean? Just out of whatever trauma, whatever whim, or whatever emotion you had. So he said also, if you were put on a stranded island with one person, a man and woman, you will be compatible. You will fall in love. You will have, like, it's just we don't give each other even this chance because the options are endless now. So you think like, this is not working. We're just going to dump you in the bin and take the next one. But actually you didn't even give this person a chance, or you're just choosing maybe the wrong kind of people.
And not maybe enough appreciation on what there is.
It's just too much choice. It's also... It's not a good thing. It confuses people.
That's, I think, for children these days, a big thing. There's too overwhelming. There's too much choices. I mean, only what is all available on clothing, on fashion, on TV, even on careers, on studies. Yeah. I mean,
it's great, but it's also overwhelming. Yeah, it's tricky. And not quickly, but to finish up, because we have to wrap up. Let's talk a little bit about Marbella and Sotogrande. What do you think is like special about this, let's say Costa del Sol, because they kind of belong to the
Andalusia.
Yeah. Is there this type of, I feel like there's some kind of energy or some really, really nice energy here, probably because of La Concha, the mountains, I don't know exactly what it is, but a lot of people say like when they come here, it just feels good. This like very lovely energy, and it's not so superficial as people always think it looks from social media. And what do you think?
I think it's definitely the energy. I love Tarifa and the mountains behind Tarifa. I just came back I did a one-on-one retreat last weekend, and I was there in the mountains, and the view there, it's just like. Yeah,
you're like on the end of the world.
It's
in Tarifa.
It's beautiful, and I like the people living here. Okay, and I say foreigners. We all are, but they have a kind of a free choice to be here. So you really come with a different energy already to live here. Like
you're not stuck here.
No. And people are here living and going, you know. It's very transient as well.
Yeah.
But with a certain energy, we all come here because we feel good. Well, and I definitely, it's the weather, it's the whole circumstances. It's nature for me, but it's a beautiful, you are at the beach, but 10 minutes later you are in a totally different zone and you are in the mountains. Yeah. You can ski in the morning in Sierra Nevada and have your paella on the beach in Malaga. I mean, that's very special. Yeah. But I feel the people coming here, they choose to be here. And that's kind of freedom. It gives you a fine, nice, free feeling. And do you know the meaning? Somebody told me that like a year ago, Andaluz. Walk your light, walk the light. Anda is walk.
Yeah,
and the luz is
I never
light.
thought about it.
Yeah.
Al-Andalus, well, we have a lot of Arab connections here.
Yeah.
Because they invaded it.
Yeah.
And
but they made it also beautiful, I think, with the architecture.
Moorish,
I love it. Whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, this is Dubai.
Yeah,
that's beautiful. Why I liked it here as well. When I was walking through Sotogrande and some areas with the style of houses, it really reminded me of Dubai.
And what is it like living in Sotogrande? Because I love Sotogrande, but I've always thought about, like, I don't know if I could live there all year round, because it seems like very small. Marbella is already quite small. And I thought maybe you're going to get really bored in Sotogrande. I don't know. It's just like one of these misconceptions maybe that I have. But what is it like in Sotogrande?
Well, I totally hear you. And I had that when I came. I spoke to two mothers before we went there. And one said, no, I know now all the restaurants and all the menus and food. The other one was like, oh, you're going to love it with your kids, the teenagers. They have everything they want. That's enough for them. It's not too big. It's kind of safe. It's a good place to be with teenagers. But in the summer now, 1 more month, and we have the chiringuitos open, and they can be on the beach party life. So that's good for the teenagers.
And so they're happy there?
They're happy there. But what I've noticed when we came 3 years ago now at the school, there are already like 200 new students coming. But for the past year, every time it's 300 new students, 300 new students. They just had an open day for families. 70 new families came. So Sotogrande is not a place only where people come from April to October or only summer. It's a more year-round destination now because the school is growing like crazy. And I hear that from people from the Netherlands, from Northern Europe, looking for places to go in Italy, Spain, and even in Portugal as well.
Wow, so the school is expanding every year. Wow.
Yeah, you have to really, we also now being there at school, and the youngest one, she only has 1 more year to go. You really have to give them notice like, I want to register again for the next year.
Wow, it's good to hear. I've heard so many good things about it too. I've never heard anything really negative about that school. Just the only thing, let's say if you live here, it's going to be a little bit far. So you do need to move to Sotogrande to go there.
But there are kids from Marbella at the school. They go by bus every day.
Yeah, and we have the bus system here, which is great. And is there anything else you want to share about your work, maybe, or give people some tips, or anything else that we haven't touched about your life or work that you want to share?
Well, just for me, it's really about what I really like about my work. And also what I notice with people, if they come in a program with me, that they really feel, in a way, better connected again, but also see the fun again. I mean, sometimes we're losing also the lightness and the fun. This is not all deep. You can work deep, but you can also come out of it and just like lighter.
Yeah.
So you go deep to find the light part of it. So, for me, I don't know, you heard about what I really like. You have the human design and the gene keys.
That I have no idea.
I did the gene keys.
Gene keys? No idea.
That was for me such an opener, but also insights and confirmations. And sometimes you need a little confirmation, like, yes, I'm on the right track. Yes, this is my... So it's about your purpose. How do you feel fulfillment in your life? Why are you here? What is your goal? And it's a really... And now I start with people. When they start with me in a program, I ask them to fill in. It's a profile you can do online. You can go deep again in it and do a whole study around it in a course. But it's about the purpose and about why are you here.
That's cool.
And my biggest gift is being the adventurer, explorer, ask questions. Well, if I look back at my life now and I'm 53, then I'm like, yes, we did explore a lot and we just left the Netherlands and we went on this crazy adventure to the Caribbean. And for me, it's not about the goal in life, but it's more about enjoying every step. And then I really feel we can do a little bit more. It's good to have goals. It's good to have like a routine. Because if we are we can feel lost if we do not have any purpose or not any goal. But also don't forget to remember every step of your way and to enjoy that.
Yeah,
little things.
Yeah, finding the balance again, not being too much in the future, always thinking about tomorrow, but not being too much in the present, not thinking about the consequences, of today's actions.
Yeah.
You do need to think, let's say, also, if I eat not well, if I'm drinking too much, you're going to have consequences. Yeah, today is great. Tomorrow you're going to have consequences. It's going to have consequences for your health.
Yeah.
So we do need to be a little bit in the future. 80-20.
Yeah, of course. It's true. But yeah, I think sometimes you also just, need to go wild. Yes, need to go wild. Yeah. Do you know the spiritual side of Tina Turner? Oh, I will give one tip for a book. Happiness Becomes You. And she has a very spiritual side. And I think we all know her as a beautiful, she was of course a beautiful woman and a singer and star. But when she was facing her difficult times in her life and her phases, it was the routine and the rhythm. She said, we all need a routine, but find your routine. And for her it was start singing. So start singing with the birds every day, but go beyond. So go beyond fear, because a lot of people these days are living from a place out of fear. But go beyond fear because there is love. And that I really truly feel, and I really, that's for me a decision. One of them that I don't watch the news because it's fear related. They want to try to put that on us. And there's so many things we cannot control. But the one thing we can control is our mind, how we feed ourselves, and how we live our life. So focus on that. I really truly believe if everybody is more conscious about themselves, put themselves on number one, we really would have less hustle in the world. Because we can so easily talk about other people or judging other people. But why? There's no need.
Yeah, but it's also probably, like you said, you are not dealing with your stuff. You're constantly looking at others. That's why these people are gossiping or saying stuff. Well, let him. Again, like this Mel Robbins is coming up every time. He says, let them. They want to do that, let them.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some limitations. You set boundaries with people. If they're hurting you, of course, you don't let them hurt you. You let them go.
Yeah, but you let them go.
Exactly. Just, I think it's so beautiful and liberating. Exactly, let them. And let yourself be who you want to be. And it was another woman who was saying also that we are a lot, of course, sometimes I do feel we need that guidance. We need that reassurance from someone, like you said. I wanted, I want that reassurance. But I think too much we are looking for it outside, and we are asking friends, we are asking mom, we are asking sister, but then we are putting them on the driver's seat, and they are starting to drive our car, and we are in the back seat in the end. But actually, what do we want? What do we like? Yeah. We don't need to do what they think is the best for you. Okay, sometimes it's nice to talk, but I think these main decisions in our life really have to listen to ourselves more, and not to do what society and friends and family is telling us. It's
and that's important. Sometimes a challenge, because there was a kind of way or path we had to go. You had to go to the university, you have to have this career. But is that really the thing? I don't know.
Don't know. You have to try again. Try. If it doesn't work, don't stay there. Don't. We are so, blessed. We have the opportunity to travel, to change places, to live here, move there. We are not stuck. We're not trees, and we have the opportunities. We are not living in the third world, so we should not take it for granted, and we should try different things and see what's working for us. And if it's not working, take the risk and
change again.
Do something. The world is changing, the climate is changing, everything is changing. So we need to adapt to change. But change can be scary. It's nice to have the comfort of having things how they've always been. Like there's some comfort in the routine. Like even babies, they just want the routine, so they know what's coming. The same with us. We don't want to have a storm every day, but some storms I think are necessary in life.
They're good. They can also wake you up a little, like, hey, there's a message.
So yeah, I don't know. Any other last words? Anything? Is there any like special? Tell me like maybe your favorite places on the coast where you said Tarifa, you really like, you love the energy there. Any other places that have like really good energy or just that you love to go?
I like Malaga as a city. I really like Malaga. And, well, the beach. Yeah, the beach is
Which
for me.
beach is your favorite? Because you have Torre Quebrada, Sotogrande, Tarifa, all near you. Which
I like the one
the favorite?
up from Tarifa, the Sahara.
Sahara de los Atunes.
Sí.
I really love Playa de los Anemanes.
Yeah, okay.
That's just before the Sahara de los Atunes.
Yeah.
Just before. It's like a secret little cove. Like no chiringuitos, nothing. Yeah. And it's tiny. And there's like huge villas only there, like beautiful, and small houses, but it's like, it's almost, you feel like a little bit like Malibu or something.
Ooh,
it's stunning. Yeah, it's very, very like a bit secret. Yeah. And then after that comes Sahara, which is also stunning beach, but more touristic because you have the hotels.
True.
But that is amazing. If you haven't been there, you should really go. Yeah. And any other place that comes to your mind? Finca La Gloria, do you still visit it?
No, it's been a while. We stayed there last year, another weekend. We stayed there with friends. They came visiting us from Madrid, so we could stay there. They had a camper van. We could stay in one of the rooms, and we had a beautiful family day where. And I just saw them recently again. They had like a planting day again. I did once a planting day there, planting the trees, but I was not able to make it. So, no, I really, springtime, I'm going to go there again.
I still get their vegetables and fruit. It's amazing. If anyone around Marbella or Sotogrande would like to have organic vegetables, this Finca La Gloria is an amazing permaculture farm. So, I mean, the apples that you get, like, oh my God, it's, everything that you get from there is like, wow. And I love it. I pick it up and there's still like bugs and soil, you know? So you know it's like really the good stuff, you know? I absolutely love it. And they have eggs and honey now, and it's super.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I love that. Whenever I get the box, I'm already like, okay, what's in there? Because you can't choose. They will just give you what's in season, you know, what's growing, which is also what our bodies need at this stage, you know. In the winter, we should be eating more root vegetables, and then, so it's really like, it's like a gift every time I get this box. So I highly recommend people to try it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I really took that from them. And I had one guy who was working there. He created a little permaculture in our garden now. So that's it's really nice.
Nice.
Yeah. No, I love that place. Well, talking about energy. That was where Elena. And talking about this Spanish hug. With her hug, you really feel like, wow.
Yeah, warmth. She's so lovely. Yeah, lovely place.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time, for your insights, your wisdom, and for anyone who wants to contact you, I will put your details and your Instagram. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I hope to see you more in Marbella.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I really like this, and really good to see you again.
Thank you. You too.
I remember when you were there. You were pregnant at the time.
Yeah, I was pregnant. So that was 3 years ago, because he's turning 3.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, wow. Yeah. 3 years have gone like this.
And you came with a friend?
My sister, I think.
Oh, it was your sister?
I think, no, or maybe, was I with my sister or with a friend? Or maybe with both.
That could also be,
Because then also my sister was pregnant at the same time. So that was my sister. Yeah, she's here now with her son. And she's coming back and forth. Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, great. Very nice.
Thank you. And also, one thing I'm going to ask all my followers and who is watching, if you love Marbella Life, if you like the podcast, please don't forget to press subscribe, so you'll get to be the first one who'll see the videos, because also it helps my channel grow. Then I can have better guests and bigger production and make it just a lot better, because I really enjoy doing this, and I love meeting and sharing people's stories. So I hope you enjoy it too, and just if you can show your support, it would mean a lot to me. So thank you. This episode is brought to you by Sandon, a family-run furniture company with a brand new flagship store in Forum Marbella.